Alright, welcome back to Conqueror and Commander. This is volume 91 involving our friendly red neighborhood knight Marton Stromgald. Martin has a strange accent over the A in his first name, so I'm not sure if he's got some sort of weird Scandinavian or Slavic pronunciation to him. I'm just going to call him Martin. Martin? Something like that. I don't know. But he's a little 1-1 guy who pumps your entire army if they all attack with him. He can also do the same thing on defense if he blocks, but I've never actually blocked with him. And this pumping ability is awesome, except for the fact that he can't really pump Martin himself, which is a little annoying, but we can work around that. Longtime readers may remember that back in April of last year I published a column called Unfinished Ideas, and I actually initially laid out more or less a not quite ready for prime time version of the deck, and I think I got it right here. Yeah, here we are. And basically the whole idea was to pump out a bunch of little dudes like Rustrazor Butcher, Ornithopter, Plated Geopede and stuff like that. There's like 39 different creatures, and then provide a little bit of protection and draw, and basically drop a guy every turn for the first couple turns, bring out Martin on turn 4, and then start beating down. The deck was prone to blowouts by Wrath of God type effects and life gain. Eldrazi Monument was supposed to help that, but it only came up every once in a while. And it basically, I would come out, I'd be super aggressive, and I'd get blown out, and I would pretty much be the first guy dead almost every time. So I decided to actually try and work hard and make the deck more resilient, and we've got what we have here today. A couple things that are important with Martin. Number one is haste. Number 2 is tokens. And then after that comes all the rest of the stuff. So let's just look at the haste stuff first. We got pretty typical stuff in the Web of War, Anger with the cool new art, Akrima's Memorial, which is awesome just because it gives protection and flying and evasion stuff as well. Costs a lot, but it's worth it. Greaves, Urabrask, and Fervor, which is kind of, I wouldn't say underplayed, but is often overlooked. And in a deck like this, it does very well. Going the token route, we have a couple different token makers. We've got, I don't know what happened there. Guys that are like parties in a can, like Precursor Golem and Mer Battlesphere, and we've also and Emrakul's Hatcher, and then we've got more slow token makers like Dragon Master Outcast, Kerkeep, Rakamar. Chancellor of the Forge is a pretty quick guy. The one interesting guy is Ib Halfheart here. I did a search, for tokens and red cards and stuff like that, and Ib Halfheart came up. He was actually pretty good just for the ability to create guys just before my turn. You don't want to actually go all in with the dragon or with the mountain sacrificing effect unless you're pretty sure you're going to win or at least take out a major threat. So that's there. The all-star of the deck is really Firecat Blitz. If you can attack with them and Martin, it usually comes out of nowhere. People aren't prepared, and even if you don't have a haste enabler out most of the time, and you just manage to make Martin last a turn, Firecat Blitz wins games. It's that simple. And Kiki Jiki obviously is good with a lot of these cards and others as well. Only 2 tutors in the deck, Gamble and Imperial Recruiter. There's a bunch of little dudes to search up for the Recruiter, including Kiki Jiki and stuff like Pyreheart Wolf, which is awesome for getting past bunches of blockers and stuff like that. We do have... oh, I accidentally dumped the wolf. That's dumb. We do have a couple of recursion elements right here. Let's see if I can fix this real quick. Yes, you go here. There we go. And Buried Ruin, because there are a lot of artifacts. And Mirror Retriever, same thing. Goblin Welder is good because a lot of times you'll have unnecessary artifacts or things that you can get rid of in order to get better stuff in the graveyard. The best thing to get out of the graveyard is usually something like Memory Jar that will allow you to draw 7 and dump your hand. Crucible is in the deck specifically because I have Ib Halfheart, and I also decided to add fetch lands to the deck to help thinning things out, and then also because sometimes you do have to flashback Firecat Blitz and sacrifice mountains. So the Crucibles come in handy as well. We have a couple different ways to help us out with mana. Koth, who also brings an attacker to the table as well. Thawing Glaciers, Solemn Simulacrum, all this stuff is pretty typical. Druidic Satchel is nice because either you get a token, which is good for your token making, or you actually excel with your land. Either of those is good, or I guess you gain life, but you know, I pretend that never happens. We have some destruction here. All our guys, or we have a couple different guys here that can destroy artifacts, from Vishnu Heretic to Manic Vandal, Oxidal Scrap Melter, Ravenous Baboons. Starstorm is good because sometimes you'll have big blockers that aren't as big as your guys when you're attacking, so you can Starstorm to wipe out the field after your dudes have been pumped by Marton. Usually that destroys Marton as well, but you know, sometimes you just got to get that damage through. And Oblivion Stone is your one reset button. I was good with just having one. I didn't need it more than that. Results may vary. For draw, we've got Chandra Ablaze, Reforge the Soul, Wheel of Fortune, Mikakoro, Memory Jar, which has almost always been good, Skull Clamp. The one sort of iffy one here is Slate of Ancestry. It's been pretty good for me. It's not always great. It's not awesome when you've only got like one dude out there. But sometimes what will happen is you just need that extra little bit of gas and you're out and you've got like 3 dudes out there. Then it's worth it. It's you know, 4 mana to draw 3 cards most of the time. We do have 2 Theft cards and Zealous Conscripts and Insurrection. Both of these do well with Marton attacking. I didn't realize until after I put this deck together that Zealous Conscripts and Kiki Jiki is actually an infinite combo. Never came up. Was not something I ever tried, but all you do is you target Kiki Jiki with Zealous Conscripts, and then use the conscripts to target Kiki Jiki to untap him, and then you just do it over and over again. It's dumb. I wouldn't recommend it. Finally, we've got Pyreheart Wolf. These are sort of like random utility guys. Sculpting Steel, Darksteel Plate is good on Marton. Bombardment is good for just doing a couple extra points of damage. Stigma Lasher, I did occasionally have issues with life gain decks, and Stigma Lasher helped out there. Heat Shimmer I got based off of a comment in the forums, or not in the forum, in the comments by Bogtrog, and I gotta say I loved Heat Shimmer. Heat Shimmer is awesome, so thank you very much for recommending that. It's been great every time I've drawn it. So, and then Hellrider, additional little points of damage, never hurts, plus he has haste. I liked it. As for the lands, it's pretty, you know, standard stuff, but I did include all, you know, the fetch lands. They helped out when I did occasionally play Crucible. Winding Canyons is there specifically so that I could try and play Marton right before my turn to sort of, it's a pseudo haste enabler essentially. That's pretty much the deck. Now, the way it plays is it's not like an all-out deck. Yes, it has 30 creatures, and if you want, you can start just like pumping things out from the get-go. But typically what I end up doing is waiting until like the right moment to strike. You know, I'll play an occasional creature or two early on and like ping people around, but you know, what I want to be able to do is draw cards and recover quicker than everybody else. Usually hit a couple of ramp things out with some of these guys, and then, you know, all of a sudden have a haste enabler with a you know, a party and a can or something like that, and then just go to town and start beating down. You know, it's a pretty offensive deck, but it does have the ability to deal with a lot of different permanents. The only way to deal with planeswalkers is to attack into them and kill them. I don't have any real way, well, aside from Oblivion Stone, I don't really have any other way to deal with enchantments either. I thought about putting Chaos Warp in the deck, and then I forgot about it, and it just did fine. I didn't need it. Again, your mileage may vary. You might decide, you know, you really want Chaos Warp, and you'll go ahead and put it in. It's up to you. But this is the version I've got, and it did well. I did occasionally use Chandra's +1 ability just to take out problematic creatures. But for the most part, she was just a draw card. That's about it. So hopefully I'll be able to get some games here for you, and we'll go from there. All right. I'll see you soon.